nobody, you, Marcel, nobody said anything to me or her. Like, even when you, Mel, y'all had conversations, Mel didn't call you a name to your face. She didn't call you a trick. She didn't call you a hoe. She didn't say you interfered with her marriage. This girl called me all of those things.
Kimmi Scott yelling at LaTisha shocked fans in ways nobody saw coming. Viewers of reality television know that drama always lingers close by, but this time it felt different. Kimmi wasn't just another cast member reacting in the heat of the moment. She was someone who had carried unspoken weight for months, and when she finally let it out, the world could feel every ounce of it. From the very beginning, Kimmi had always been honest about her feelings. She was bold, straightforward, and never afraid to speak her truth. People admired her because she stood tall no matter what, almost untouchable in the way she carried herself. But in the fragile world of reality TV, no one is ever truly untouchable. The cameras catch everything, every side glance, every whispered comment, and every small betrayal that might otherwise slip by in regular life. Even the strongest people can eventually crack under pressure. And that is exactly what happened between Kimmi and LaTisha. Now, fights on television don't just appear out of nowhere. Nobody wakes up and says, "Today, I'm going to explode in front of millions of people." What we see on screen is usually the final straw in a long series of moments that keep stacking up until something breaks. For Kimmi, those moments had been piling higher than anyone realized. At first, things seemed fine. When the new season of filming began, Kimmi and LaTisha actually looked like they were building a real bond. They joked with each other, backed each other up during little disagreements with other cast members, and gave fans the impression that their friendship might turn into one of the strongest alliances on the show. It looked natural, easy, and fun. Viewers cheered for them, believing they would have each other's backs through all the highs and lows that reality TV brings. But beneath that friendly surface, cracks had already started forming. In the early days, there weren't any major betrayals or blow-ups. Instead, it was small things that most people might brush off, a rude-sounding comment here, a choice LaTisha made that Kimmi didn't agree with, or a look that felt out of place during filming. None of these incidents were big enough to cause an argument on their own, but Kimmi noticed all of them. She was sharp, observant, and someone who remembered details others might forget. Those little things sat with her, quietly building up in her mind. The real trouble grew off camera, away from the edited scenes viewers see. LaTisha had a habit of sharing private conversations with other cast members. She didn't always mean to hurt Kimmi by doing this, but the effect was the same. It weakened the trust Kimmi had been trying to build. There were also little digs, whispers about Kimmi's personal life, and comments that cut deeper because of the timing and the people involved. Kimmi didn't forget those moments. Each one added fuel to a fire that had been quietly burning. The way the two women communicated only made things worse. Kimmi was straightforward. If she had something to say, she said it. She didn't sugarcoat, she didn't dance around the issue, and she didn't care if her honesty made someone uncomfortable. LaTisha, on the other hand, was more indirect. She was careful, sometimes vague, and preferred to avoid open confrontation. What LaTisha saw as diplomacy, Kimmi saw as avoidance. What Kimmi called honesty, LaTisha sometimes viewed as overreacting. These differences in style made misunderstandings inevitable. Even the smallest disagreement could last for hours because they were reading each other's words and actions through months of unresolved tension. And then came social media, which turned their private frustrations into public pressure. A cryptic post here, an unclear comment there, or an indirect jab. Fans noticed everything. Online communities began dissecting every picture, every caption, every like. Suddenly, even the most casual interactions between Kimmi and LaTisha became heavy with meaning. Supporters took sides, hashtags popped up, and opinions spread like wildfire. The stage was set for something explosive. The breaking point finally came during a scene that was supposed to be lighthearted. LaTisha made what seemed like a simple comment, but for Kimmi, it landed like a punch. Months of built-up frustration, private hurt, and unspoken anger all collided in that single moment. When Kimmi finally erupted, it wasn't just a reaction, it was a release. Her voice cut through the room, sharp and steady. For a moment, it felt like time itself stopped. The other cast members froze, unsure whether to step in or let the storm unfold. LaTisha's face shifted from shock to defensiveness. She hadn't expected things to go this far. She opened her mouth to respond, but her words stumbled out uneven and unsure. What the cameras captured wasn't a staged argument. It was raw, unfiltered emotion. Kimmi wasn't just talking about the comment in that moment. She was speaking for months of quiet frustration. Every small betrayal, every whisper, every sideways glance, she laid it all out. Her words carried years of strength mixed with the pain of feeling disrespected. Even the calmest cast members couldn't ignore the energy in the room. They knew this wasn't just another argument. This was history being made. Kimmi's statement, "You crossed the line," wasn't just about that scene. It was about everything. A line that had been in place for months had finally been enforced, loud and clear. The room's atmosphere shifted instantly. What had been casual became tense, almost suffocating. Everyone present could feel the weight of what had just happened. And the ripple effects were massive. Within hours, clips of the fight spread online. Fans replayed the moment frame by frame, analyzing Kimmi's tone, LaTisha's expressions, and the reactions of the rest of the cast. Social media exploded. Some fans cheered Kimmi for standing up for herself, while others accused her of overreacting. Team Kimmi and Team LaTisha hashtags flooded Twitter and Instagram. Memes, reaction videos, and heated debates filled timelines. The argument was no longer just between two women. It had become a cultural event. For Kimmi, the reaction was bittersweet. Fans praised her honesty and strength, but that praise came with expectations. Now she was locked into the role of the fearless truth teller. Every post she made, every interview she gave was scrutinized. People expected her to remain bold and unshaken at all times, leaving her little room to be vulnerable. For LaTisha, the fallout was even harder. She hadn't expected her words to carry so much weight. But suddenly, her reputation was on the line. Some cast members quietly sided with Kimmi, while others kept their distance, not wanting to get caught in the middle. Online, LaTisha faced criticism, with fans accusing her of being fake, two-faced, or sneaky. Her online presence became a minefield. Every picture, every caption could be seen as a response to Kimmi or an attempt to spin the narrative. Even when she tried to ignore the noise, fans twisted her silence into meaning. The drama wasn't just on TV anymore, it was in real life. Their feud spread into interviews, public appearances, and even personal relationships. Every move they made was interpreted through the lens of the fight. Cast alliances shifted, friendships were tested, and the show itself gained new energy because of their tension. Behind the cameras, both women had to face hard truths. For Kimmi, the fight proved the importance of setting boundaries and standing firm when those boundaries are crossed. For LaTisha, it showed how small actions, things she thought didn't matter, could build up until they created an explosion she never saw coming. Reality TV had turned one private issue into a public spectacle. But that's the thing about reality television, it doesn't just capture drama, it amplifies it. It takes ordinary human tension, magnifies it under a microscope, and then broadcasts it to the world. And once the world gets involved, the story takes on a life of its own. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, the effects lingered. The room where it all happened never felt the same again. Cast members moved differently around each other. Every laugh, every conversation, every look carried extra weight. Fans kept replaying the fight, keeping the wound fresh. What had started as a small spark became a fire that neither woman could put out. Kimmi and LaTisha's fight wasn't just a scene, it was a turning point. It reshaped how they saw each other, how fans saw them, and how they would be remembered in the world of reality TV. One moment of raw emotion changed everything. Because in the end, reality television may be edited for screens, but the emotions we witness? They're as real as it gets. At the end of the day, Kimmi and LaTisha's blow-up wasn't just about one comment or one scene, it was about everything that had been bubbling under the surface for months. It was about friendship, trust, pride, and the weight of living under a spotlight where every move is judged. Fans will keep debating who was right and who was wrong, but the truth is that both women walked away changed. Kimmi proved she would never let disrespect slide, no matter who it came from. LaTisha learned that even small words and casual actions can grow into something much bigger when the cameras are rolling and the world is watching. This fight will go down as one of the most unforgettable moments in reality TV, not just because of the yelling, but because of the emotion behind it. It showed us that beneath the glamour, the lights, and the filters, these women are human, real people who hurt, who defend themselves, and who fight for their dignity. And that is why this moment will keep living on, long after the cameras stop rolling and the hashtags fade.